Hey party people, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Bean.
And we're Kelly Beans Bees. We're first-time beekeepers here in Central Virginia. And today, my brother is here to help us out do a mite check.
So what I'm going to do is I've got this frame of bees. If you watched our last video, you know our queen is actually over here on this frame. So I know the queen is not on this frame. I've looked, there's larvae, there's open brood is another word for it. And that means that these bees that are on here are going to be nurse bees. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to end up shaking these nurse bees into this bucket. I'm going to smoke them, and that'll send away all of the foragers, so I only have nurse bees. I'm going to take half a cup of bees, and I'm going to toss them into this jar here that we have rubbing alcohol in. And that's going to kill the bees. We're not super happy about killing our bees, but we're going to be happy
to
figure out what the Varroa count in this hive is.
Yeah.
And so that'll give us some information as to what we need to do. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that there's no Varroa, that we put it in there and none of the bees that I look at have Varroa on them. That means that our Varroa infestation is very, very low in this hive. I'm not going to say it's non-existent because I don't think any hive has a non-existent Varroa count. But that means that we don't have to do anything because the bees are doing well.
Perfect.
So, are we ready to go?
All right. I mean, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a scoop, homie.
So, I'm actually going to do it like this.
So we're doing this because the forager bees, those ones that are flying, are going to make it back into the hive, and the nurse bees are going to stay in the
They're not very happy with me right now.
Make sure you don't get stung.
I'm going to try not to.
So if you missed it, Bean's not wearing a bee suit today. He feels more comfortable in one probably, but
well,
we don't have an extra.
Yeah. So if you didn't see the last video where we talked about it, or the video I think we're going to put up talking about it in full, Kelly's allergic to bees now. So she's in the full bee suit, standing back a little bit.
I'm looking
we
like
think she's going to be okay, but we're just taking all the precautions we can. All right, so these bees didn't fly away after I smoked them. That means that these are... Is that bee pooping?
It is.
Oh.
Let it rip.
Interesting. I'm just going to... Goodbye, bee. I don't want your poop in my bucket. Sorry. I've never seen a bee poop. Interesting. Anyway, so these are all nurse bees. So these nurse bees are what I'm looking for. So I'm going to shake them all down. I'm going to take a scoop of half a cup, and I'm going to pour it in here. And then please close that.
It's okay. All right, and then does he just shake up and down?
Yes, please.
Is it stinging you?
Yep.
Oh, man.
I'm good, though. So I don't even think it broke skin.
Oh. All right, so then Cole's going to shake this for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're going to see what we have. All right. So the shaking has occurred.
Yep. So what we've done is the alcohol, while it kills the bees, it also kills the Varroa mites. And that's what we're looking for. So we killed the Varroa mites, and then we shook the bees up to try to dislodge any Varroa mites that might be on the bees. So what we've got here, we've got a couple of specks that are down here that you can see. And I'm going to move this a little bit and try to look. It looks like we have 2 Varroa mites, probably one right here, and then one right up here, from what I can tell. That might be one, but I think we had a stinger that came into here, if I saw right. So, yeah, this one in the middle is a stinger. We have 2 mites. Actually, we might only have 1 mite. Those both might be stingers. I think we only have 1 mite. So, 1 mite in a mite wash isn't bad at all. Really,
that was a whole half a cup of bees.
Right, so it's 300 bees is in half a cup. So that's 1 mite to 300 bees. It's not many.
That for a recipe that you're making later?
Yeah, right. So 1 mite really isn't that bad. Depending on the time of the year, different mite levels require different types of treatment. So if coming out of winter, or even in the spring now, you saw 3, 4 mites, you might want to treat. Because most treatments you can't really treat with supers on. So if you're making honey, then you can't treat. And really, a lot of people don't even like to treat with the treatments you can treat with honey supers on because they feel weird about putting things into the hive while they're making a product for someone to eat. But you want to make sure to get it done, your mite treatments done early if you are doing it in the spring. So 2 or 3 mites might be a problem at that time of year because as the bees create brood, the mites are reproducing as well. So the more brood in the hive, the more mites you're going to end up having. So you want to catch it early. But if, say, we were in August, maybe September, and we took a mite check like this, 2 or 3 mites might be okay. It might be a little high. We might want to bring it down some, but that might be fine. But then as we start to kind of come down in the year, at the end of summer, we might want to treat with something like this because we've got a couple of mites in there and it's probably not going to hurt to treat, but if we leave too many mites in the hive, that is going to hurt. That's the problem that we can run into. The bees, they will end up getting viruses from the Varroa mites. So the mites themselves aren't the thing that truly hurts the bees, it's the viruses they get. So it's kind of like mosquitoes and people. The mosquitoes, you get bit by a mosquito, it might get a little red, it might welt up some, but you're probably not going to end up dying from it. But if the mosquito spreads something like malaria, yellow fever, one of those big diseases that everybody talks about with mosquitoes, that's the problem that we run into. So it's the same with Varroa mites. So we want to make sure their numbers are low so then we can keep our bees happy and healthy.
Perfect.
But right now, I think we're good. I don't think we need to treat. In maybe another month or so, we might take another mite wash and see what it looks like.
So what do you do with all those 300 dead bees now?
We're probably going to pour them out.
Do we pour them like close to this or it doesn't matter?
I would probably move them a little ways away, just so if anything's coming and trying to eat the dead bees, then they're not attracted to the hives. At this time of year, it probably doesn't matter, and we don't have any really weak colonies. So again, it probably doesn't matter, but best practice is probably to take them a little ways away.
Okay, cool. All right, so what are we doing now?
Well, I'm probably going to continue the inspection.
Okay.
So I don't know if we might bring you back for another video, if we might just leave you with us on this.
I think we'll just do another.
Okay. Well, this was
Yeah.
our mite check video. So if you have any questions about mite checks, leave them in the comments, put them on Facebook, whatever, and we'll try to answer them. But
Alright.
we will see you for the rest of this inspection in the next video.
All right, you want to do it?
Bees out.
Bees out, y'all.